Welcome back to BetterAvecBourbon. Fall is finally here, and that means Espresso Martini season is here in full force. To celebrate fall, or more in summer, depending on how you want to look at it, we'll be making the Espresso Martini two ways. The traditional equal ingredient listed on the back of the Kahlua bottle recipe, and a bourbon Riff penned by yours truly. Besides a coffee liqueur and vodka and bourbon, you'll also need fresh espresso, and my tool of choice will be a Bialetti, or a moka pot for the uninitiated. But let's dive into the ingredients. First, you'll need an inoffensive vodka, not you Smirnoff, something like Finlandia, Tito's, Grey Goose even. You don't want bitter flavors ruining this for you. Alongside this, you'll need Kahlua, or your chosen coffee liqueur, and fresh espresso. For the bourbon variation, you'll want a sweeter, approachable bourbon like Buffalo Trace or Maker's Mark, and some walnut bitters for some spark. And before anything else, put some coupes or glassware in the fridge freezer to get nice and frosty. Gather all of your ingredients and let's get to it. First, fill a kettle and get it to a mild boil. Mine happens to have a temperature gauge at the top for ideal brewing temperature. 195 to 205 is labeled green, but simply do your best. Boil it long enough until it starts to act up. We're pre-boiling the water here as it helps avoid burning the coffee, as can happen if you add the moka pot to the element with room or cold temperature water instead. For more detailed instructions, watch James Hoppin's video and explanation here. While that heats, get your moka pot, coffee grinder, and fill your grinder with beans. I prefer hand grind so I can get it slightly coarser than fine, which is ideal for this tool. Once ground, get your moka pot in position. Grab the coffee funnel and fill it with grounds, but do not pack it. Fill the base up to just below the pressure valve with your hot water. Place the coffee funnel in, and using an oven mitt, tightly twist the top on. Once the moka pot is back in one piece, slide it onto your hot burner, flick the peat back up to medium-high heat, and wait for it to start percolating. Once you hear the gurgle start to get quite audible, quickly remove it from the heat, run it under cold tap water, or drop it in an ice bath for 10 to 20 seconds to quickly cool the base and avoid burnt coffee. Now that you've made some good stovetop espresso, let's move on to the actual cocktail portion of the video. Grab your bar mat, shaker tin, jigger, and starting with the original vodka version, measure out 1 ounce of vodka. Pour it into your tin. Next, grab your coffee liqueur, measure out 1 ounce, and pour it into your tin. And lastly, grab your moka pot, measure out 1 ounce of espresso, and you guessed it, pour it in your shaker tin. Grab a scoop of ice, lock it in, and shake for a good 10 to 15 seconds. Grab your chilled coupe and carefully strain your martini into your coupe glass. No froth left behind. Then add the signature garnish of 3 whole coffee beans in a triangle formation. If you misplace them, use a cocktail pick or another gentle instrument to slide them into place. No big deal. Set that to the side and let's begin on the bourbon version. Grab a clean shaker tin, your rinse jigger, and start by adding in your black walnut bitters. I added 3 drops as it's a gentle spout, so not much comes out at a time. And Fee Brothers will have little to no alcohol in them, so they are more subtle than, say, Angostura. To your jigger, measure out 1.5 ounces of bourbon to balance the sweetness of the bitters and the Kahlua you'll be adding. Adjust as you see fit to your liqueur. Once measured, add it to your tin. Then grab your Kahlua, measure out 1 ounce, and pour it into your tin. And lastly, grab your moka pot once more and measure out 1 ounce of espresso. Look at that Bialetti sweat from the exertion. Once measured, pour it into the tin. Add a scoop of ice. Seal your tin and shake for 10 to 15 seconds. Grab another chilled coupe and gently strain your bourbon espresso martini into it, getting all the foam. And add the signature 3 beans. Look at that golden brown. Simply exquisite, and the froth holds up nicely. As you can see, the vodka one's still going strong. Now let's see how it squares up to its finished sibling. You can tell by the coloring that the black from the coffee liqueur and espresso is lessened in the bourbon version. But how do they taste? The vodka one is exactly what you expect. It's sweet, it's coffee, and there's no real alcohol taste to it. A great dessert cocktail or a nice spiked pick-me-up. Now let's try the bourbon one. Wow. It's quite tame, but you do taste more of the alcohol, but since it's bourbon with walnut bitters to accent it, it has warmth to it and some barrel notes. For those who find the original a little sweet, I highly recommend trying this variation, especially as we approach cozy up in the cottage season. If you like what you see, hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.